Welcome back to Premier League predictions here on Very Biased Opinions. And let me just say, as we are filming this way in advance, do the opposite of everything that we say, because it's bound to come true. We talk about Patrick Bamford being crap. He's bound to have a screamer. We talk about Chelsea's fullbacks Alonso and Azpilicueta being crap. They're bound to have screamers. We talk about sides having good form. They have terrible form. That's just the way it seems to be going lately. But we are in for an exciting round of weekend games. Before we dive into it, Thomas is just going to highlight a little comment from the round before.
In honor of how bad we have been at predictions when we have to make them 2 weeks in advance, essentially, Mickey leads talking about how Bamford ripped Leicester apart and how he thinks his lads are going to beat Everton. Match hasn't happened yet, but based on all of our predictions, he's probably right.
Mickey, I don't know what game you're watching, but Bamford mishit those passes and they just luckily fell to a Leeds player, scuffed his goal in. Crap. Anyway, enough of that. We have actually got an exciting game to talk about first. Thomas, what is the first match?
Soon to be dethroned Liverpool hosting soon to be crowned champions Manchester City.
That's champions and world champions Liverpool. But anyway, that's by the by. Right. Let's not get statistical about this. Let's not overanalyze anything. I want to know from you, Thomas, as a Man United fan, currently who are kind of being spit roasted by Liverpool and Man City in the league. What's funny about that?
Nothing.
Terrible. I want to know what you feel about this game. I want to know who you think's going to win and who you want to win.
I hate to say it, I want Man City to win. I can't deal with Liverpool getting another title. I think Man City will win, although Liverpool are back in really fine form. But City seem to have done what we'd expected them to do at the beginning of the season and just kind of been dominating teams. They've got a world-class team. Their refusal to play a striker means they could easily end up losing this game because they'll just refuse to score goals. But they look really good right now.
They do. They're like a metronome, aren't they? Just constantly churning out wins to nil. Do you feel they might miss? This might be one where they miss De Bruyne, though, miss his influence.
Yeah, maybe, but I've been, we've talked about this a couple times. I'm really impressed with Phil Foden. Ferran Torres seems to have slid into the team really easily, and Raheem Sterling's come back to form at a magic time for them. Right,
underrated player for them is Gundogan as well. He's been excellent over the last few weeks.
And you just, De Bruyne is freaking awesome, right? But it's not like Liverpool have some midfield maestro that's going to unlock the City defense either. Like, they're down him, but they still got players like Foden and Gundogan, as you said, and the running of Raheem Sterling and Ferran Torres in front of them. So City to win 2-1?
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. We like to think these games are going to be exciting. These games with the top six, unless it's Tottenham Spurs, tend to be really dull affairs where it's like they just don't want to lose rather than to go and win. Although Salah's got performance in the last game and his goals were amazing. I am going to go for a Manchester City win as well. 1-0.
1-0. All right.
Not 0-0. Burnley versus Brighton, Hove and Albion.
Right, I'm going to get this out of the way quickly. Brighton, huge win, beat Spurs 1-0. Fantastic result for them. Value for money in that game. Burnley, have you read the report on their takeover, Ian Allen?
I know you were talking about it, and it all seems perfectly fine, above board. They're going to have shitloads of money, doesn't it?
Yes. So apparently, they're going to be saddled with over £90 million of debt, and 40 million of the 100 million that was paid to the old directors actually came out of the cash fund that Burnley had saved in their 4 years of the Premier League. So basically, Burnley have worked really hard to maintain a profit every year. They're not overspending on players or anything. And they have this £42 million bank balance. Well, 41 million of it went out to the old directors when they left in payment. I don't know what's going on. I've just been reading about it, and it looks brutal. Apparently, their interest payments at a minimum are going to be £5 or £6 million a year. And considering they've only managed to save 40 million quid in 4 years, that's at least half of their profits a year when fans can come in. So I don't understand how this has happened, and the management structure that have come in are really harping on the fact that they've made contingency plans for if they get relegated.
That's what you come for, folks, isn't it? Economics. Any thoughts on who's going to win this match?
Burnley, 1-0.
There we go. Yeah, I also think Burnley will win. I think they'll win 2-1.
Oh, man. I will say, we did talk about the game last week for Brighton, and I was like, they always win when they need to win, and they needed to win, and they won, and it's annoying. But I don't think
they seem to be able to put those performances in when they do really need it, which is a credit to Potter, because they were really good at it. They seem to identify when a side's kind of in a weak place, and then they go and hunt them down.
Especially London-based clubs. Did you see Connolly's miss?
I did.
He shouldn't be allowed in a football pitch. I'm sorry.
I know. Good defending.
Well done. Mickey Leeds' Leeds United versus Palace of Crystal.
One incredibly exciting side against one. Oh my God! The Eagles are coming against Roy Hodgson's Crystal Palace side, who have a good spine and two good attacking players in Eze and Zaha, who win them the majority of the games they do win, as we say every single week. But I just because we want to see Leeds do well, and we like Mickey Leeds' comments. They were absolutely fantastic again the game against Leicester, and at Bamford, we talked about him being quiet, and he was brilliant in the game. So good.
That was such a good finish.
Oh, the second goal. The third goal was just a thing of beauty as well. What an amazing counter-attack. I really want Leeds to win this game. I'm going to go for 2-1 Leeds. Don't see Palace getting happy. Yeah.
I'm going 4-1. Leeds, it's just so much fun to watch them attack.
Newcastle United versus Southampton.
Right, so Newcastle beat Everton in the last match we actually got to watch, but I do genuinely think Everton played into Newcastle's hands a lot. They had chances to score and didn't. Yerry Mina, I know there's a slight touch on the cross in, but he's missed a header from about 4 yards out. Southampton are definitely looking more tired. I think anyway, he's back in the midfield, which should be helpful to them. Danny Ings is managing to get in most of the games right now. They're obviously going to be coming off a loss to Man United, which is happening later tonight. I do not think Newcastle are a good team still. I still think the pressing, high-tempo play of Southampton is really going to mess with the Newcastle United, whose only tactic against Everton was murder James Rodriguez until he can't kick a ball anymore. And I'm going to let you go first, because I keep putting my scores in before you can even speak.
That's absolutely fine. It was an important win for Newcastle, and I think it's going to take some of the pressure off the whole team. Fans could just breathe a little bit. It already looks like there's quite a nice gap between the ones above the relegation zone and the ones below it that is unlikely to be caught even at this stage. I do just think Southampton, House and Hootle's got to try and find a different way of playing rather than just running everybody into the ground, because they seem to have about 30 minutes of energy in them these days and then look pretty gassed. And that is something that I'm sure Newcastle will just try and hold the fort like they usually do, and then try and hit them late, which is what they did against Everton. But I am going to be going for Saints in this one. I think Southampton will win 2-0.
I think it's going to be 2-1. I do like the look of Callum Wilson right now.
Oh, I mean, Callum Wilson's literally head and shoulders above the rest of the Newcastle side at the moment.
Sheffield United versus Chelsea.
Tuchel's got his feet under the table a bit now. They got their first win. You'd expect it to be a bit more comfy. You wouldn't expect any difficulty in this one coming up against Sheffield United. They'll have to work hard for the win, but it's just they haven't got enough in them to keep going, to go on the run they need to go on. Sheffield United to get out of trouble, and Chelsea are going to be too strong for them. And I think you're going to see a pretty dull 2-0 victory for Chelsea, and that is 2 that I've gone first 4 in a row. So I'll let you go first next time.
It's okay. I'm going 2-1. I was always going to go 2-1, so it didn't affect it too much.
Tottenham Hotspur versus West Bromwich Albion.
So West Bromwich Albion played like garbage for 70 minutes against Fulham, but for 20 minutes, Fulham let them look good. They got 2 goals, including their centre-back literally doinking the ball in from about 5 yards. He was so trepidatious with his touch. It goes in at like half a mile an hour. But they got a draw. I don't think they're good enough to stay up. And eventually, this weird hoodoo that's around Spurs will end. I think it's probably already ended by the time we get here, but I'm going 2-0 to the Tottenham Hotspur.
Yeah, you just wouldn't be shocked if Tottenham took the lead early and then threw the lead away again and it ended up 1-1. But absolutely, I agree with you. West Brom just aren't good enough to go up. aren't good enough to stay up. Don't win enough games.
But
well, I'm going for a Spurs win as well, Thomas. I'm not completely mad.
Oh, no. But they signed somebody that you like. I'm going to let you say good things about him now.
Who?
Maitland-Niles. I hate
Right.
you.
I know, but this is me talking about Ainsley Maitland-Niles. I've already talked about it, but you haven't seen it because I thought he'd signed for Newcastle. So I did a big thing about how he's going to be really good for Newcastle. But let's say he's going to be really good for West Brom because West Brom need more players that can turn defence into attack quickly. And that's a good trait of Maitland-Niles, even though you might not think he's a great defender. Tom's going to probably wave his hand around. Tom, wave your hand around like an idiot, like he's got something to say. But all he's going to say is, I don't like him very much. So
that's not true. I don't like Arsenal.
We don't need to dwell on it. I think Spurs will win as well. I'm going to go for a 1-0 Spurs win.
There's a genuine tear in my eye from that.
But honestly, if this is the start of how Spurs are going to be without Harry Kane, they ain't going to pick up many points.
But if this is how they're going to be without Harry Kane, Jose Mourinho is going to be out of a job by March because they are falling apart faster than Mauricio Pochettino even had them. Fulham versus West Ham. See what I did there?
There's not a lot of difference between West Brom and Fulham. Like, they're both pretty decent. Like, they're not good enough for being in the Premier League. Straight up, they're not good enough to stay in the Premier League. They don't win enough games. But I like Fulham a lot more. I think I like their attacking players a hell of a lot more as well. I really like Beck Cordova-Reid. I really like what's the name? Name's escaping.
Ademola
Lookman. I really like Loftus-Cheek, and I think the way they should score more goals in games, but they've just got an inability to keep clean sheets, and it's just cost them time again.
Do you not think that eventually Mitrovic will remember how to be a striker in this league? Like,
well, he will, but not until like August next year when he's in the Championship again.
Good point.
And playing up against the West Ham side, who they got a bit battered by Liverpool last time out, but it was like a Liverpool side that almost like returned to form after wins against Spurs and West Ham. And I expect
the second goal.
Nuts. But West Ham's tactics weird, and they talked about it a lot on Sky. Is like how they really almost didn't attack Liverpool's centre backs enough, and as soon as they did, they got a goal from a corner, and it was almost like it seemed really weird. It was strange why Moyes didn't just like go for the weakness in that Liverpool side. Oh, what was he going to say? Something great, no doubt.
I can confirm that West Ham called his better at Man United, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and said, "Ole, you're such a fantastic manager. How do I beat this Liverpool team?" And Ole went, "Well, the one thing I didn't do was attack the centre back pairing because they were too strong. So whatever you do, don't attack the defenders." And so he listened.
And also he went back to his Everton days where he never used to beat Liverpool anyway. So all in all, West Ham will win 2-0.
I'll go 2-1. Out of West Brom and Fulham, genuinely, as much as they're much of a muchness, I do think Fulham are the better team just because they have attacking players that can score goals, whereas West Brom don't even pretend they're going to attack in most games.
Oh, I agree with you. I'd much prefer watching Fulham play than I do watching West Brom.
Wolverhampton Wanderers versus the Golden City of Leicester City.
Yeah, Wolves have been poor this season, haven't they, of lately? And let's not go over old ground. We know the reasons why, and we know that they don't have a huge squad and everything like that. And it's just been a bit of a struggle for them. And one of the sides I like watching the least, I think, in the league, Leicester have these weird games where they blow hot and cold, and they certainly did that last time out, getting beaten by Leeds. Although they should have scored more than a goal in the game.
If Jamie Vardy doesn't play, there is no party.
True. They've done a good job of overcoming that of late, but I don't know, just weird. I mean, Leeds blew them away a bit, and Leeds can do that because they play some great football, as we talked about. And really, that game could. We don't have to look at what is it, school?
No, I just don't want to talk over you. I want you to finish your point, and then.
Why don't you just let me finish? It's like
because I have thoughts, and you're making me think of the thoughts.
It's Leicester did miss a host of chances, though, and easily could have come out of that game even 4-3 winners in the end. I would think that they would be too good for this Wolves side. I don't think it's going to be a great game. I am going to go for it. I've literally gone for low-scoring games in all of it. I think it's going to be I'm going to go 2-0 again. 2-0 Leicester win.
Yeah, I'm copying you on that. genuinely, you start saying stuff and it reminds me of like thoughts I had 2 days ago that I really wanted to tell you and I never did. But my theory on why Leicester win less, guess?
No, it's just annoying, isn't it?
I like winding you up. I have a theory on why they play worse. And as much as we see way too many teams play a high line against Leicester when Jamie Vardy's playing, a lot of teams have to sit a lot further back when Vardy plays, which allows Leicester to control more of the ball and play onto them. And with no Jamie Vardy, especially against a team like Leeds didn't even think about defending. They didn't care at all. They're like, you've got Ayoze Perez? Cool, we'll play on the halfway line, because watching him run is like watching...
They wouldn't have played any difference no matter who played for Leeds. They could have had Messi and Ronaldo playing, they wouldn't have played.
We have seen them keep clean sheets, and we have seen them play a slightly different style of defense. I mean, the fullbacks in the Leicester game, show me a touch map. Did they touch the ball in their own half? Like, Ayling spent 90% of the match on the byline next to Leicester's goal. Like, every attack was him just sprinting the length of the pitch, and you're just like, they're not afraid because there's no pace.
I stand by what I said. They would have played the same way regardless of who Leicester.
Enough of you. Aston Villa versus Arsenal. No, Ian. I'm starting with my Maitland-Niles rant because I've been waiting since the Newcastle United section of this. What the hell are Arsenal doing sending Maitland-Niles to West Brom? Why have they not sent him to Southampton? Why have they not sent him to Newcastle? Why have they not sent him to a decent team? Why have they demanded he go and get stunted under bloody Sam Allardyce? It's the weirdest thing. Also, did they not need him? Like, I get it. Get rid of Shaqiri or Shiraki or Mustafi or whatever his name is. Get rid of freaking Ozil. But what are you doing getting rid of Maitland-Niles? Is he not part of the future anymore? Is it time? Like, am I missing something?
What did Pep Guardiola say about Allardyce? And?
I'm gonna quote you. Not a footballing genius.
And?
Just a genius.
You name me an England manager with a better win percentage.
Francis Jeffers in front of goal.
No, he's not a manager. Allardyce is the only manager with 100% win record for England. Criminal wise.
What's defense? What's going on? What is this?
I can't tell you, but I can tell you that last time out, Villa absolutely smashed Arsenal at the Emirates. Last time these two sides played, so Arsenal can't be any worse than they were in that game. Villa continue. I mean, Grealish must look around sometimes and think, I wish there were more players on my wavelength. And thank God that there's the odd time Ross Barkley is on the same wavelength as him and combined to score a good goal. But they've been excellent so far. It's going to be a tough game for Arsenal. I thought they were all right against Man U. It wasn't as terrible as people said the game was, and I think
Sorry,
Arsenal,
I fell asleep.
It wasn't a classic, but it wasn't like a snooze fest as people said. I thought it was all right. I think Arsenal will win this game because I have to back them. I think they'll win 2-1.
Yeah, so Arsenal are going to lose this game.
All low-scoring games for me this weekend.
Well, we're not getting a huge amount of goals right now, but Villa have looked really good. They just keep churning out the results. I think Jack Grealish, as of a week or two ago when I was looking at this, is the most fouled player in the Premier League. Like, quite literally, every time he touches the ball, someone just kicks him in the ankle and runs off. But if Ross Barkley's out there, you have another midfielder that, if he's even running at 75%, can do a lot of really good things with the football and get in the right areas. He loves driving forward. Jack Grealish loves pinging balls in with his left foot. Come see, come saw. 3-0, Aston Villa.
Wow. Wow. Here we are again then. It's time for the final game. It's time for the main event.
Manchester United versus the second best club in Liverpool, Everton.
So, Manchester United have taken a hell of a lot of criticism from the media this week, and it's basically like they've finally had a chance to slag them off a little bit, and they've jumped on it, saying, questioning their mentality and questioning their ability. They should be going out to beat Arsenal. They should be going out to beat Liverpool. Do they really want to win the league? A little bit harsh in my opinion, but might be spot on. But you don't want to know what I think. Let's hear what the resident expert and Manchester United fan Thomas Pickering says.
I love it because 2 weeks ago, Man United were the greatest club in England. They're top of the league. Everyone was singing their praises. Bruno Fernandes, the greatest player the Premier League's ever seen. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is putting it together. Lose one, draw one, and oh my God, Man United is falling apart. They're clear in third place. They're 3 points off the top. This is the worst team in England. How, Ian? How have we allowed this to happen? How have we allowed Man United to be third after 22 rounds?
It was pretty scathing, and it seemed they were more scathing of the games against Arsenal and Liverpool than they were of the Sheffield United game. Or saying, "Oh, that's just a blip, that can happen." But when you're playing against a weakened Liverpool side and a weakened Arsenal, you need to go out there and beat them. It's like
I think I just like the fact that whenever they do this, they never highlight Solskjaer as being the weak link. It's the player's fault. Like it's always Paul Pogba's fault for not scoring a winner in every game. And it's always someone else's. Like, he doesn't set his teams out to win those games. He sets we come up against no center backs against Liverpool, and he puts 2 holding midfielders in. We come against an Arsenal team that, no offense, are rebuilding. They're trying to remake themselves. They're not hard to break down. Oh, we're going to sit back. Well, we don't want them to get a chance. We in no way want them to have a single chance. But in exchange, we don't attack. Yeah, and there are so few chances.
So unusual to see a game when neither side presses.
But United haven't pressed any of the big teams.
That's what I mean. I'm not saying, but I meant Arsenal don't press either. So it was just really weird to see a game. You don't see it very often in football, where both sides are just retreat as soon as they don't have the ball and just let the other side come forward. I think it was a little bit harsh, particularly in the Liverpool one. I still say Ollie did all right in the Liverpool game. They really should have won that game late, and then he would have looked like a masterstroke.
The point is, and I'm not I just trying to point out at the beginning, I'm not agreeing with any of it. Like, Man United have massively overperformed for where they are. The fact that the halftime team talk is very clearly every single match. Harry Maguire, I love you. Bruno Fernandes, please win the game. The rest of you do better is hilarious. But it's the narrative we've got for the rest of the season. And United are still a really strong side, and I think they're probably one of the top 3 attacks in the league. I think they're going to end up scoring more goals than City, who will end up winning the league. And I think United will win this game 3-2.
What's the plan?
What, in this game?
Yeah.
Give the ball to Bruno.
No, not that plan. Man United's main plan is to try and keep Ancelotti hostage in Old Trafford after the game. What's the plan?
Okay, so what's happening is once they're inside, every door is being locked. And then once he's inside the dressing room, we're going to drop knockout gas, because that's a thing, in, lock the door as they're all pounding to get out. We're then going to open the door to let the gas out. We're going to drag Ancelotti out, put him in the Man United manager's chair, wheel Ollie into the Everton room, drop him unceremoniously in there. And when they wake up, they'll think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is their manager.
With maybe like a Mission Impossible style mask on Ollie, so they still think it's Ancelotti. I like it. I like it. So, going off Tom's logic, if Man United can get through the first half against Everton unscathed, they'll win the game because Everton are a first half team.
No. We want to be scathed. We have to concede first. We have to be down 1-0 at half.
That's away.
Not home. Shit. Poor lost plan.
You need to just. You don't know what to expect from Everton these days, do you? They do.
They were poor in the last match we saw, really poor.
Yeah, and that's the thing. They were poor even though they had all their best players back as well, which is really weird. So, to
be fair though, they were good for quite a while, and James Rodriguez reached a point about 50 minutes in where you could just tell he didn't want to be out there anymore because it was -2 degrees, and they weren't even trying to get the ball off, and they just kicked him every time.
Weak mentality, that's what I say. Everton have been pretty poor in the games against Man United this season. I thought they were poor in the League Cup and poor in the league game. And even though they took the lead in the league game, I think Man United will win as well. I think that it'll be I've got to go for a bigger score. 3-1 Man United. Let's go for it.
Right, all that's left for me to do is thank you all for watching. Please smash the like button, smash subscribe, tell us why you like it, tell us why you don't, put your predictions down below. Tomorrow, League One predictions come out. The day after that, Oxford United preview show comes out. The day after that, which is Saturday, I believe, if I've done my mathematics correctly, is our live stream at 3 o'clock. Come join us. We'll be talking about Oxford United and every other match that's on at that time. We love you all. Thank you for being here. We'll see you tomorrow.